Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. It's our 200th episode. We've said that every time we've come back, but we're proud of that. If you've got a question, it's time for question and answer time. You can certainly send that over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can certainly do that on the Proclamation Hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods. That number is toll-free, coast to coast, 1-800-927-7469. 1-800-927-7469. Or you can just 1-800-927-SHOW.
Proclamation Goods creates cookware for the eco-conscious home chef. Their pans are non-toxic, have a lifetime warranty, and are made in Wisconsin. Their award-winning stainless steel Proclamation Duo cookware set is a 12-inch skillet and stock pot that doubles as a wok. Best of all, the skillet and stock pot hinge together to form a Dutch oven. It's 2 pans with the versatility of 10, empowering you to cook more with less. If you care about your health and strive for a more sustainable lifestyle, then Proclamation Goods is for you. Supply is limited, so order yours now at proclamationgoods.com.
Yes.
I'm really proud of us. This is our 200th show.
200 shows, self-funded through sponsors over the course of the last 6 years. We would not be able to do this without the number of sponsors that have supported the program. Some are still with us from season 1. Others have been with us for a number of years. And some come and go as they feel it's necessary to be on the show and take a year off. So without them, we can't do this. So let's go with this question. It's sponsored by Fleet Farm and fleetfarm.com, Holly. I planted spaghetti squash, and I don't have spaghetti squash. Something's happened here. I've got a cross of something. I did plant it in here, zucchini and pumpkins. Could that be the reason that I don't have what I think should be spaghetti squash?
Yeah, you most likely have a cross of zucchini and pumpkin with that spaghetti squash. And then...
It doesn't mean that it happened this year. This was already in the seeds whenever you planted them. Now, if you saved seeds from last year and you had all of them growing in a very small area, that can happen. This is typically coming from the seed company or the farmer who makes the seeds. They have issues. I mean, the farm's only so big, so there can be some cross because they're all in the same family. The pumpkin, zucchini, squash, spaghetti squash are all in the same family. So you can have that cross happen where it looks supposed to be a spaghetti squash, but it's got the tendencies of a zucchini and some stripes of a pumpkin. So you can eat it. It's not going to be as tasty. It's not going to be as, you might have to bake it or boil it or whatever, but it can be consumed, but it's not going to be the flavor in which you think. So keep that in mind. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. No.
Yeah, and it's kind of a hit and miss whether, I'm going to plant it and you don't know until it's growing or you harvest it. We had that last year with some spaghetti squash. So, all right, next question is, what time of year do I trim my Brussels sprouts? They're about 2.5, 3 foot tall right now.
So you do this in early fall?
Yeah, or when you see...
kind of mid...
Yeah, when you see the sprouts.
When you see the sprouts form. So when you start to see those little sprouts, not the super teeny tiny ones, but once they get, less than marble size, then you want to top your sprouts. And
you just take the top 6 inches of the plant off. It's going to look dramatic and bad, but you're stopping the vertical growth and focusing on the fruit development of that plant, the sprout, and it has worked every time we've ever done it. So don't be scared to top that plant off in order to get you good size sprouts. All right, Holly, can I safely can cantaloupe? I've got a ton of it coming out of the garden, which is a good thing. What do I do with it? Thank you.
No, you cannot can cantaloupe. It would probably just be terrible.
Well, cantaloupe was 93% water,
it's 93%
and it's
water.
just, you look at it and it falls apart, and
you could probably dehydrate it.
Candy.
Yeah, like a candy.
Well, can't you blanch it, or not blanch? You can flash freeze it, can't you? Chunk it.
I think you can.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what would happen once you thaw it. It'd be worth a try.
You wouldn't lose, more like a frozen piece of fruit. You get these bags of fruit at the store, you can buy them, and they've got grapes and cantaloupe and honeydew all frozen in the bags. Now, I don't know how they prepare it at the factory. I don't know how they freeze it that way, but you could certainly freeze it in chunks.
I have a really bad joke.
Oh, well, okay.
What did the one watermelon say to his watermelon wife?
What did he say?
Honey, we cantaloupe. We're already married.
Okay. Okay. Next question. What would you recommend? Plastic watering can or a metal one? Is there advantage or disadvantage to either or both?
I think it really depends on where you live, where you keep your watering can, and
do you care about your watering
can? So we have both.
Yes.
And one was gifted. Our metal one was gifted from my mom to Joey. And then our plastic one, I think, was found like on the side of the road.
Yeah, a couple of them were.
Yeah. Metal ones can rust, and then they can get dinged. And then if you keep it in like an outdoor shed or garage, because of heat and cold and everything.
Ours is galvanized, but we did find that it had a hole in it, and we did repair the hole. We got a video on that. It's got a couple of thousand views. Somehow it's a lot. Quite interesting. But the only
another thing to keep in mind is the weight.
The weight, because there's 1 gallon, half gallon. I think there's like 3.5 gallon watering cans, or you just get a 5 gallon bucket. If you get a watering can, regardless plastic or metal, be sure the spout, the shower head, can be removed in some form or fashion. So when it gets clogged or particles get in there, you can take it off and flush them out of the actual unit or get them cleaned out of the actual shower head, because the current one that we have, the metal one, does not have a removable spout on it, which you got to bang around and try to get the particles out if you have dirt in it or gravel or whatever was in the water barrel. That type of thing. So keep that.
That's good to keep in mind. All right, what's our next question?
What is the requirements to grow asparagus? I'm considering it next year and have no clue about it, where to purchase it or start or anything.
Well, you can get the crowns. That's what they're called, the starts or the crowns, from a local garden center.
In spring next year.
Yeah,
Junk Seeds will have them. 10 TG22, 10 TG22 for 10% off your order.
And you want to plant them basically as soon as the soil can be worked.
Right.
And then there's a whole process. You get the crowns, you dig a trench, you spread the roots out.
I would recommend a 2-year crown over a 1 year, because you're not going to harvest anything substantially until about 4 years in. That's where we will be at next year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
And there's purple asparagus and green asparagus. The white asparagus is asparagus that has been grown and covered and basically no sun. So we grow the green, Holly, and we will have asparagus, and asparagus can last a long time. Many.
It can last a long time. Some people move into homes and discover that they have asparagus growing.
They've been mowing it over for years and realize what it was. Yeah.
So there's it's definitely worth the time investment and the little investment that you're going to pay for the plants.
Right.
The starts.
If you've moved into a property or you've bought land or whatever the case is, invest $200 or $300 or $400 in fruit trees, nut trees, and perennial plants, and just throw them anywhere on the property, because then you will regret it in 10 years if you didn't do it now. Because we would have, if we knew what we knew now, we would have done things very different, put a lot more perennials in the garden than what we had done, and now we're just trying to catch up. So that's that.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.